Today, we're having a conversation with a wonderful countertenor. He grew up in Michigan. His father was a pianist, his cousin a famous conductor, his mom was a soprano, and his brother is a violinist. I think it is fair to say that music is a family business. The thing about Bejun Mehta is that when he was 9, he was already a star. So you had this kind of unusual childhood because you were a successful boy soprano.
You know, I think about it differently now because when I was a kid, it was just super fun.
But the problem about being a boy soprano is that you have a very short career. Becoming a teenager and losing his instrument was kind of a hard thing for Mehta.
I personally identified with it to a degree that then when my voice changed, it was rough for a time.
He was already playing the cello, so when his voice dropped, he focused on cello.
There were definitely things that I could do as a cellist, but mainly it was that the repertoire, it didn't touch that same place in my soul that singing did.
At the end of high school, he needed to choose between Curtis, a very famous music school in the US, and Yale. He chose Yale, and he studied German literature.
And it totally changed my life because when I got in, first of all, I was just shocked. And then secondly, I knew in a cellular place that I was going to do this. And I think there is actually a lesson there, larger than myself, which is that one does really have to be open to unexpected influences in one's life. To be open to the unexpected and to embrace it.
After graduating, he went to the West Coast and he worked a bit in an orchestra before taking some voice lessons again.
That was the next big, embracing the unknown, and that was to, investigate the grown-up voice.
And he sang as a baritone. He was not very good.
And the baritone thing was just a very unfortunate detour.
He quit singing, and 6 months later, he reads an article about a countertenor who struggled when he was singing as a baritone. And so he had the revelation, and he started singing as a countertenor.
It really was just listening to the inner voice.
And well, it's working pretty well so far.
Although at the time, it often felt like I was crazy and a moron.
In 1998, he had his debut at the New York City Opera.
Because of the boy soprano time, the New York Times took a huge interest. There was a profile on the front page of the arts and leisure section, the whole page. Is he good? What's his voice going to be like? And it came out, of course, when? On the debut date. And then I had to go on stage, having sung as a countertenor for 5 months or something, and deal with that kind of expectation and pressure. It was great because I knew that I was on the right path. I could feel it.
As a countertenor, he mostly sings Baroque music. But he also sings contemporary music. In fact, one of my favorite composers, George Benjamin, wrote an entire role for him in his opera Written on Skin, which is a great opera.
Embracing the unknown.
And are you still embracing the unknown when you now work as well as a conductor?
Yeah, you're on it. No, exactly. I'm actually in the middle of one of those right now. I just a week ago, 2 weeks ago, got a fantastic job where I'll be doing my first opera, and it's going to be opening the Theater der Wien season in 2023-24.
This is a pretty exclusive information.
It's exactly the right thing, and I've been waiting for exactly the right one. There is a certain spirituality to it in that if you are very clear on what is the harmonizing thing for you, if you're very clear on what it is, you will find your way to it, or it will find its way to you. The
first time that we actually virtually met was during this Q&A organized by the Conservatorium van
Yeah.
Amsterdam. So it was during the lockdown due to the pandemic. You were starting to tell us that this moment at home made you reflect on your career and the future.
I'm 52 now, and I've had an astonishing career in life, and I've amassed a great deal of information. And it's this fantastic raw material, and I can use it in a lot of different ways. It's fantastic for a conductor to sit there in a pit and know exactly what's going on the stage from the singer's point of view. At the same time, it makes sense to be teaching. I never really thought that it was possible to share more than being a singer. I thought that was like the highest form of sharing. But I think there probably are, at least for me, ways that I can be better of service.